Hey everybody, welcome to Community Conversations, where we're talking about how culture drives business. My name is Alex Williams. I am the community manager here at Procore, along with my colleague and friend, Elvie Hansen, who's the director of culture strategy. And we are exploring visual tools that help create culture. Let's dive right in.
Visual tools shape language, and language creates culture. Alex, the visual tool we're looking at today is called People First. And as this visual tool jumps on screen for you, take a minute and just observe. Maybe ask the question, what words stand out to you first? What imagery, what visuals pop for you? What meaning do you attribute when you look and observe this visual tool called People First? For us at Procore, this highlights a journey. It highlights the starting point and the end game. It's people. It's always been about people. And what you see here are really three components that I want to draw your attention to. One, the people journey, the development roadmap that we've highlighted there, become, build, lead. Two, the competencies that we've identified as being mission critical for the holistic development of our people, that Venn diagram in the middle, personal, professional, leadership, and construction. And finally, the end game. What's our ultimate goal? To culture, and I'll touch on that in just a second. But the development, right? The journey, become a leader worth following. It starts with our people having what they need to really be their full authentic self. You can't give what you don't have. We want our people to be the best selves. Become a leader worth following so that we can build teams worth following, and then together lead an organization worth following. That's the journey. Simple in theory, complex in practice. And that's fueled by that Venn diagram in the middle, the competencies that we've identified as being mission critical for the holistic development of our people. It's all equally important: personal, professional, leadership, and construction. And while there's equal importance, the order matters. Personal's first. Personal, professional, leadership, and construction. If we can have our people cultivating and being developed in all four of those areas at the same time in a fully developed person, we believe that gives them the best chance to win. And if our people win, Procore wins. So what's the end game? To culture. We know that no one is an internal employee. They're going to re-engage culture, whether it's temporarily at a sales call or at a conference or some industry event, or if they go to a different company. But we know that the end game is the fully developed person, because if our people are better people being at Procore and they re-engage culture, then they have a chance to up-level community. That's the goal here, right? Rising tides rise all ships. We don't want to build the best employee. We want to build the best person. We believe that gives them the best chance to win, and in that we win, and the community wins, from culture to culture. So again, our end game and our purpose and our vision is developing our people through a people-first mentality. So as you take one more look at this visual, consider, what's your learning? What's your application point? What's 1 degree shift that you can apply to you, maybe to your team, maybe to your leadership, that gives you the best chance to win, maybe gives your people the best chance to win? Consider that.
So now that we understand the visual tool People First, we're going to jump inside the Procore Community van, head on over to Austin, Texas to interview one of Procore's leaders, Pat Wadors. She is our Chief Talent Officer, to talk about how People First practically plays out in leadership and in an organization. So jump on in. Hey everybody, we're here inside the Procore Community van, and I'm really excited to introduce you to our Chief Talent Officer, Pat Wadors. Pat, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here in the van.
We're talking about people first, and you have been a master of culture development, people development. You've helped build and lead scalable organizations really around people development, around culture being a priority. And one of the things I remember you talking about was a people journey, an employee journey that follows almost like a customer journey map, and the parallels that you've pulled really around prioritizing the people of an org. And I'd love for you to unpack that around this idea of people first.
Yeah, happy to. So if you think about how companies have spent millions of dollars on the customer journey, right? How do you attract a customer? How do you get a customer to commit to your product, your service? tracking the net promoter scores of that customer, their CSAT. I mean, we spend so much time and energy on that journey to see if I can attract you, engage you, expand our relationship, and retain you, right? Why don't we take that same methodology with that sentiment for the employee? So instead of a CRM, think about a people relationship management sequence. Think about that same journey mapping. And if you think about, attracting amazing talent, getting them to commit to your company, to Procore, what does that take? Talent brand. What is your value proposition? How do I get the most diverse, amazing talent in the world to want to join Procore? You have to be intentional with that storytelling, the value prop. And then you have the next one, once you get an employee to commit to your company, to get them ramped up to productivity. That's a whole body of work in and of itself, right? So making sure they're ready for day one, that they feel welcome, that they belong to this team, that they're prepared, they know their goals and objectives. And then once they're in your world, how do you nurture that relationship, right? To expand their skills, to make them realize their best potential while with you. That's huge. And maybe they shift careers again. They do something else. They go back to ramp up. And they're always evolving like your customers would. And then you go to alumni. Hopefully our customers don't become alumni, but our employees sometimes do. And I wish them amazing success, and they might boomerang back. But be that as it may, if you craft the employee journey like you would a customer journey, and then you intentionally map the sentiment you want that experience to be, the trust, the sense of belonging, the excitement, right? That joy, that confidence that you're building, that pays it forward so much, right? For people wanting to refer talent to you, your talent brand, your company brand, it just becomes this lifting thing. And then you realize when you craft that journey, the pivotal role here is the leader and the manager. We know that a manager has more impact on your mental health than your primary doctor does. It's a privilege to lead and manage. Treat it as such. People deserve a great leader, and you're not born, you're made. And so if you recognize this is what you want to do, then it's not your side job, it is your main hustle. And that means you have to put your heart and mind into this craft. We can leverage technology, as you know, to nudge us, to make us better, to remind us to set goals and track items and to give feedback. But it's really about the alignment of the brain and the heart that says, I care about you, that I'm going to treat you beautifully along this journey, and that I'll nurture you along the way and make sure this is the best experience in your career, and that you flourish along with us and your family is cared for. And that's what I'm crafting. I mean, that's really what I care about.
Pat, as you unpack that so brilliantly, I'm thinking about people that might be watching this, that are hearing this and thinking, yes, yes, yes. Anything practical that comes to mind for someone that says, I want this, I need this. What's the step I can take to really pursue and start to go after what you're talking about here?
Well, I think it's fundamentally 5 steps. Attract core talent, right? Commit to day one, that orientation. What do you want that experience to look like? From day one to ramp up. And that ramp up can take weeks, it could take months, depending on level and complexity of roles. So it's by persona. Map that. You can start generically with any employee. What's it take to at least navigate your organization? And then you have grow and transition. How do I want your average year to look like? What's your rhythm of your business to give feedback, to set goals, to ensure you have the right tools, to calibrate together and support you during life needs? And then to alumni offboard, to disposition software and hardware to make sure you have the right benefits to care for you and your family when you leave with a great feeling, so you want to come back and still represent the organization. So just design that. Anticipate the questions your employees will ask along those 5 points in time. Think about the role of the manager, right? To interview the candidates, to make sure you have the right spec, the right role expectations. That's really critical for everything. Make sure you sell the right thing that you're giving. And when you onboard, calibrate. Are you doing the job you expected to do? Did I describe the culture the same way? Are you living the right kind of role that you wanted? And if not, how can we improve it? And so if you track each of these chevrons, and then you can actually map down below those 5 chevrons, the policies you create to enable it, the processes, the technology, to track the data, the insights that you need, and the metrics. And for me, it's all underneath a platform, a mindset of, inclusion and equity and belonging, right? I want to make sure that everyone feels like they, in their unique way, authentic way, come to Procore and rock their best selves and do their best work. And so along that path, I asked the question, how, do you feel a sense of belonging with your core team? Are you authentically you? Do you feel like your voice is heard? Do you feel like we want to hear your voice and it has an impact on our decisions? And so as you guys know, we track that. We ask those questions in engagement surveys, and we are struggling to figure out how best to navigate the manager to make sure we get the most out of our employees.
Pat, thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it a lot.
Thank you both. This was fun. Thank you for having me.